All right, so this is our male character stage makeup tutorial. And the basic idea is to be as natural looking as possible, just define some different facial features. So if you can notice between the two pictures, the cheekbones and the brow bones are much more defined, but then also just creating some overall evenness throughout the face. So again, it shouldn't look like you have too much makeup on, but it should look like you have a very naturally kind of slender and sharp looking facial features. So here we go.
Basically, yeah, again, the look that we're going for is high cheekbones, kind of a nice chiseled face. You're going to fill out your eyebrows, define your eyes a little bit, but then other than that, it's going to be pretty good. So I'm not going to use foundation. A lot of you guys have beards. That's going to cover up pretty much half of your face. So you really only need to work the top half. We're just going to use a contour palette. But here are the things that you'll need. So they're all really, really cheap. I want to give you guys tools to work with that are economy, basically, so that you can get for really cheap. So I always get these baby wipes. This thing I think I got at Target, but it's like $2 for 70 some wipes, and they're really, really good at removing makeup, and also just really good at being able to like clean up your hands and stuff after you're done. And then you can get this at maybe like Let's Party over by Kamayakan High School, right across, or on Edison. And basically what it comes with is it comes with some makeup sponges, comes with foundation, and then it comes with this little like contour palette. You'll want to make sure to get one of those. I think mine was like between $20 and $30. I got it a couple years ago, so I can't remember. But the people there can also help you match your shades to your skin. So if you do want to do foundation, you can get a foundation, and basically you want to match it to the inside of your wrist. So if it's a color that matches the inside of your wrist, it's going to match your face, because that's going to be like the closest color. And then the other thing that it comes with is a eyeliner pencil, and this is a dark brown, so it just gives you a little bit more of a natural look, as opposed to the black, which like really makes things pop. So yeah, so again, you're going to want to get makeup sponges, the wipes, and then this little pack, this little contour pack. And then the only other thing that I think would be useful is to get like a brown mascara. And basically that's the brush that goes onto your eyelashes. So yeah, so that's about it. Probably looking at between 20 to like, well, probably between like $30 to $40. But it should last you a long time if all you're doing is stage makeup for theater and stuff. So basically what we're going to do is we are just going to use our fingers. We don't need any special brushes or anything like that. So yeah, so grab your contour palette right here, and what we're going to do is we're going to use the darkest shade, and we are just going to color in our faces. So get a good deal here on your finger, and what we're going to do first is start with the cheekbones. So I always start, if you could go like this, you can see where your cheekbones are pretty clearly. So we're just going to follow along that line, start at the top of your ear, and you're going to draw a line down to about here. And I like to go kind of to the corner of my eye. So if you look right here, it's the corner of my eye. And then you're going to reverse and do it on the opposite side. Okay. So if you notice, this one's a little bit higher, but that's okay, because when we blend it out, you're not really even going to notice. So starting with the cheekbones, okay, and then I always put a little bit right here in the center of my lips, because we all have a natural little shadow between our lips like that. Oops, let me get a little bit more here. Okay, so a little bit in between your lips, and then for those of you who don't have facial hair, you can put some underneath your lip here. That's kind of the soul patch area. Okay? And then you can even put a little bit right here on the bottom of your chin. If you want to give yourself kind of a cleft chin, you can do that. It's up to you. So see, I have that little bit of a cleft now. Actually, that was maybe a bit too much, but that's okay. Okay, so now we've got our cheeks, our lip, and our chin. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to contour our nose. Most men have a little bit wider brim of a nose, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw a line right down the side of your nose, just like that. So start at about here, like right where your eye socket starts, and just come straight down. Okay. You can do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. There you go. So see how wide my nose looks now? Okay, and then you're going to bring this kind of up onto your nostril just a little bit. But don't cover your nostril, otherwise it's just going to look like you have dirt on your nose. Alright, so there we go, that's our nose. And then we're going to take this and we're going to bring it up into our eyebrow. Alright, there we go. Oops, I think maybe this side is a little bit higher up than the other. Alright, so wide nose, okay? And then we are going to follow the same line that we did for our cheeks, but at our temples, okay? And I kind of imagine there's a line from my temple to the tip of my eyebrow, like this. And then we're going to follow up kind of our brow bone right up here. So come down and then follow up to your brow. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. But we men naturally have kind of this, you can see on this side that doesn't have the contouring already. You can see the shadow here that comes up like that. So that's what we're trying to imitate with our makeup. So come into the corner of your eyebrow and then up to follow your brow bone. And up. Alright. Oop, as you can see, I didn't get it quite parallel to my cheek. So you can just correct that a little bit. Ta-da! Okay. So, the last thing that I do with my contour for just a basic contour is I do a tiny little bit kind of on the corner of my eyes here, the outside corner. It kind of looks like a lot when I'm doing it in the video here, but it's not that much, okay? Just these two little dots right there and there. Alright, so there you go. You can, up close, you can kind of see what I've done here. Okay, I lied about the last little bit. There's one little bit that you're going to do next. And that is, to complete your look, you're going to follow right along your jawline, like this, because we all have a shadow underneath our chin. And what this is going to do is it's going to take the color that we've put on our face, and then it's going to match it to our chin shadow. And it's just going to give you an overall completed look. Alright. So you've gone along your jawline, and now you're going to bring it down. So here's where you can rub. You don't have to tap it on, but just kind of rub it onto your chin, like this. Don't bring it too far down, otherwise you're going to get your costume all makeup-y, and it causes us to need to clean the costumes too often. So Don't bring it too far down, otherwise it's going to rub on the collar of your shirts and things like that. So just enough to kind of cover your chin, and there you go. So that's the darkest color. So now we're going to move on to the light color. So go ahead and wipe off your finger. Do what you need to do to get that finger clean so that you can again use it for our highlighting. Okay, so now we're going to use the brightest color here, okay? And we are going to start off by just highlighting our nose, okay? You don't need to really spread it out that much because again we're going to be using a makeup sponge to kind of blend this all together. So highlight your nose. Do you see how bright that is? Kind of crazy. Okay, and then we are going to, and then we're going to do a little bit on the inside corner of our eye. Okay, and I like to do a little bit here on the underside of my eyelashes, or on the other side of my underside, sorry, of my eyebrows. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to draw, do you see how there's kind of like a triangle right here? So we're going to kind of draw a triangle with our highlight right underneath our eyes. Kind of look like a clown right now, slash an animal or something. Okay, and then we're going to do on either side of the brown that we put in between our lips. You just put a little dot. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then we are going to put a little bit here on our chin to emphasize kind of that sticking out chin, if that makes sense. Okay, just like that. And then the last thing, well, not the last thing, second to last thing, is you're going to do a little bit along your jawline. Just again to give a really good contrast. Okay. There we go. And then here is the last thing. So I like to do a little bit between our brow bones, and I try to get some on the tip of my finger, very tip, and I like to just do kind of some lines like this because it helps kind of give some texture to Min's forehead. You see how I'm putting lines kind of above each other? You can just do kind of like 3 lines. Like that, okay? And now we are done with our highlight. Okay, and we are going to wipe off our finger. And now we're going to blend everything together. So what I always do is I get this a little bit wet because that helps to kind of push the makeup around and to push it all together. So get it a little bit wet, not like dripping wet, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to start on our forehead. So, and we're just going to tap. Don't drag, don't swipe or anything like that, because what that's going to do is it's going to end up giving you streaks all over your face. So don't do that, just lightly tap, okay? See, you can already see those lines have kind of disappeared, but it gives me a nice glow right here on the middle of my forehead. Okay, then we're going to go to the temples. There we go. Okay, now with the cheeks, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the top stays really bold and the bottom gets blended in. So make sure that when you go over the top of it, just kind of lightly tap over until it looks a little more like a shadow, okay? So you can see this is very, very thick and bold, and this one is just a little bit more blended in. And then the bottom, you're gonna pull down. So grab a little bit and pull down. All right, there we go. So now you can see I have these very like defined cheekbones. Okay, and then we're gonna move to our chin. So here's my cleft chin. We're just gonna tap that in. All right. So that is, man, my hair is something else. All right. So that is your basic shadowing, contouring, okay? And now what we're gonna do is, I like to define my eyebrows. I thin mine out a little bit so they look a little bit wimpy anyway. But I think eyebrows are some of the most expressive parts of our face. And so I really like to define those so that I can use them a lot when I am speaking. So I have this kind of powder that I use for mine that's a black powder. But you can use your brown eyeliner pencil. Actually, you know what? Let me just do that. I'll just do that so you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to literally fill in my eyebrow like this. Okay, and I like to give myself a little bit of a point. It's a little more villainous. All right, so you can see how much different this one looks from this one. So now I'm going to do this one here. All right, there we go. So now I've got these really bold eyebrows. Okay, so we've got our face done, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do our eyes. Min, it's okay if you find your eyes twitching and blinking a lot, because if you're not used to touching your eyes, then this can be kind of difficult. But one thing that really helps is to kind of stretch out the skin on your eyelid when you're doing it. And what we're going to do with the brown eyeliner pencil is we're just going to outline our eye. We're not going to add any tips or anything like that because we want it to still look natural. It's just when that light, when the bright lights from the stage lights, the lime lights are on you, it's just going to completely wash out your eyes. So we just want to give it a little bit of definition. So we are just going to pull our eyelids tight and then trace along the lash line. All right. I don't know if you can really tell, but this makes like the top of my eye really, really defined compared to this one. It's kind of hard to tell in the picture. So I'm going to do now this eye. All right. There we go. Yeah, again, in the video it's a little hard to tell, but on stage it's going to look really, really good. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to follow underneath our eye. There we go. So now we just got a little bit more definition to our eyes. Okay. And then we're going to get our brown mascara, and we are going to do our eyelashes. And again, this is just going to further define our eyes. So here we go. You're going to press on your eyelashes from underneath, and then you're going to wiggle up. So press and wiggle. Press, wiggle. Press, wiggle. What the wiggling does is it helps separate the eyelashes so they don't get clumped together from the mascara. So then we're going to get a little bit more here on our brush. Okay, and we're going to do the other eye, so go underneath, up and wiggle, up and wiggle, up and wiggle. It sounds silly, but these types of things take time to learn. It's not going to come to you naturally, so practice a lot. Don't wait until opening night to try out your makeup for the first time. practice a few times when you get home, or like as soon as you get your makeup, and like maybe 3 or 4 times before you actually get up to opening night, or dress rehearsals and stuff. So there we go. That's basically the finished look. What you can do, if you notice my eyelashes are very straight, and when my eyes are closed, or sorry, when my eyes are looking straight on, the outside of my eye is kind of covered a little bit by my eyelashes. So you can actually curl your eyelashes a little bit and it'll really open up your eyes quite a bit. But for the sake of time and stuff, I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then the last thing, like Jasper, you might want to do this because it just gives you a little bit more of like a kind of devious look to you. Maybe you don't want to do that, but I'm going to do it as Neville. I'm going to use, again, this darker shade. This you would do when you're actually contouring. You wouldn't do it afterwards. You can, but you can do it all at the same time. I just wanted to show everyone kind of a finished look with the basic kind of stage makeup. And then now I'm going to show you a little bit more of a specialized thing. So get a little bit more on your fingertip, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to come from the corner here, and we're going to drag down to about the corner of our mouth. Draw a line down to about the corner of your mouth. Okay. If you notice, I already have a shadow going all the way down to my chin, but what I want to do is I want to accentuate this section of my face to kind of give me a little bit more of a gaunt look. But it also just kind of gives you this more like crisp kind of villainy type look. Okay, so there's that, and now we're going to blend it in. There we go. And it gives you just kind of this added sharpness to your face. So I kind of like doing that. And then last thing for those of you is your lips are going to get pretty washed out. Your lips are going to get pretty washed out again because of the light. So it's good to put at least a little bit of lip color on. You can use this. Use the darkest red. It's not like super natural looking. I mean, super like normal looking, I guess. But it definitely works for the stage because it just helps your lips to look like they're there when you're on stage. So just add a little bit. You don't need a lot. And then you're going to rub your lips together like this. Okay? And it just gives you a little bit of color added to your lips. Again, in the video, it's a little bit hard to tell, but I promise on stage it's going to look really, really good. So there you go. That's kind of our finished makeup look. If you guys want like more specialized things, let me know and I can see if I can either connect with you individually or send you another video or something, like if you want to contour your face a certain specific way. But yeah, anyway, there you go. That's kind of a basic look. And again, practice, practice, practice. That is kind of the biggest thing because you don't want to go on stage looking like Picasso. So there you go.
One other thing that I forgot to mention, if you want to kind of get more of a angry or devious sort of look, is that you can use that dark brown contour over your eyelids and under your eyebrows, and it just really emphasizes your brow bone, and it kind of gives you this sunken eye sort of look, and so that really helps. But again, this look is just really supposed to allow your facial shape to show when the light is shining on it. So it's not supposed to be outrageous necessarily. You can do outrageous stuff, but this is really just, yeah, to let your facial structure show up in the light. So anyway, I hope this helps, and yeah, we'll see you guys at rehearsal.